Pride of Hiigaran. This is Captain Soban of the fleet, Farron Shah. Looks like you could use a hand. Attention all Sobani, pick your targets and engage.
Hello everyone! Hello! This is Captain Soban. Welcome aboard the Starship Enterprise for another episode of Homeworld Simplex Ship Showcase series, where we will be looking at the production level ships. And before we actually get into the video, I do have to let you guys know that I'm going to start batch recording my videos, which means that I won't be able to respond, or that basically means I will be recording multiple episodes at the same time and then uploading them. Normally I like to record an episode, upload, and then see your guys' comments and whatnot and adjust the next episode based off of that. The reason why I'm doing this is because it's taking forever for YouTube to process my videos. I don't know why. It's been taking 3-4 times longer than the actual length of the video, and sometimes I have to pull the video down earlier to give YouTube more time to finish processing it and reapply it or re-release it a couple hours later, which is really annoying. It's annoying for you guys and it's annoying for me because the algorithm that grabs your videos will not grab it if it's not released at a constant schedule. So I'm just gonna have to start batch recording and uploading a couple episodes or a couple of videos ahead of schedule so that YouTube has plenty of time to get that processed. So apologize about that, but yeah, that's what we have to do. Anyways, let's get into the actual video and talk about all of the big production ships that you can build in Homeworld 2 Simplex on the Hiigaran side. So obviously, first one is the mothership. The mothership. Well, there's armor on the bridge. Holy crap. Sorry.
Mothership.
The mothership, I went ahead and got all of her upgrades going, so she has the sorry about that pinging noise that's coming from the cinema station. We'll be talking about that shortly. She has all of her upgrades. So she has the rapid sweeper set on, which are, I believe, these guys, which give it anti-fighter and corvette defense. The torpedo set, which is right here, which gives it anti-frigate defense. And she has her battle asset, which you can get once you get really high ranked up, which adds heavy kinetic cannons, heavy ion cannons, additional armor on the ship. So you have armor on top, you have armor around the bridge, which is really cool because I don't think you had the armor things in the complex version of this game. I believe there's more armor down here. Yeah, there's armor down here by the feet. Really, really cool. Did not know about that. And of course we also have the heavy ion cannon, which is a massive ion cannon that does a massive amount of damage to capital ships. So yeah, but the Pride of Hiigaran is all the way upgraded.
Mothership.
She is very powerful. But anyways, from the mothership we can build our fighters, corvettes, frigates, capital ships, as well as platforms and any type of resource system we can build. The only thing we really can't build, we can also build a core, which you can use to rebuild the mothership if you ever lose it. The only things you really can't build are the large super capitals. And then for modules, we can build the harvest control module, which allows you to your harvesters to harvest faster and unload faster, so you can get resources from asteroids faster. Drive system, which increases the speed and maneuverability of your mothership. Defense control tower, which increases the health and repair rate, I believe, or it might just increase the health of the mothership. Fire control tower, which increases the damage and accuracy of your weapons. Hyperspace module, which allows you to hyperspace the mothership and any ship around it. Repair system, which increases the repair rate of the mothership and ships docked into the mothership. Manufacturing center, which increases the time or decreases the time it takes to build stuff. I believe ship build speed. Okay, so it's mainly just ship builds. It's not like modules and whatnot. Gravity well generator, which gravity well generator. I thought it was a gravity well inhibitor for a second, which prevents things from hyperspacing near the mothership. Enemies, not you. Anti-radiation field, which this allows your mothership to take less damage when entering nebulas and whatnot. And a power disruptor, which reduces the damage, health, speed, and maneuverability of nearby enemy ships. So, yeah, pretty cool. And then for special systems, we have the Advanced Sensors Array, which gives you a huge boost to your sensor system. Excuse me. A deep space sensor, which detects hyperspace signatures and allows you to research deep space stuff, which I believe that allows you to spy on enemies, if I remember. Nope, that's Advanced Sensors Array. I don't quite remember what deep space one does. But it's something to do with like gathering intel from the enemy. And then anti-cloaking sensor, which allows you to detect cloaked ships. And then you can build resource supplies to increase your resource cache, power generators to increase your power requirement, defense field, which is the
Defense field powered up.
a little shield generator that prevents weapons from entering or from being long-range weapons from hitting the ship. I don't think it blocks beam weapons, but it can be upgraded to block beam weapons. And then, of course, the mothership battle asset, which does improvements across the board for the mothership, as well as put additional weapons on her. And this you're required to be a fleet admiral before you can actually put on, which is why the upgrade is so substantial. I believe you can also adopt the mothership into a shipyard to make this a lot cheaper, because this costs 40,000 RUs to build it without a shipyard. In Complex, you only could do this with the shipyard, so the fact you can do this without a shipyard is pretty cool. And then we have our sets. We have the Rapid Sweeper set, which gives anti-fighter capability to the mothership, Torpedo Launcher, which gives anti-frigate capability to the mothership, and anti-corvette. It basically acts like a bunch of torpedo frigates around the mothership. And then a Heavy Ion Cannon, which does a massive amount of damage to the enemy at long range. Great for like great for weakening battle cruisers or destroying destroyers with the mothership. And then you can also launch medium range Viper missiles, which are anti-capital ship missiles, 45 kilometer range. That's actually pretty cool. And then we got the Tango mines, which is a slower anti-capital ship weapons that have a lot shorter range. This requires a fire control
Shield
module
power
to use.
depleted. Recharging.
And Tango requires the defense control module. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay. And certain conditions, if you lose the mothership, you lose the game. There's other conditions where you can destroy everything, where if you lose the mothership, the game will just instantly end. Next, we
Copy.
have the cinema station, which has this pinging noise that's constantly going on, and I don't quite know why. Not actually pinging, but we'll just have to deal with it. So, the cinema station we can build fighters and corvettes from. You can also build a special unit called a spy, which we'll build and take a look at it real quick, which I believe is like a advanced reconnaissance
squadron complete.
unit. It's the advanced reconnaissance fighter squadron. Comes with a light kinetic cannon, an integrated anti-auto cloaking system, so it's always cloaked. Or
Standing by.
oh, we can just turn it on anytime. Nice. It kind of looks like a interceptor and defender put together. Cool.
Reporting.
Go ahead and zoom out because that is getting kind of annoying. I don't really know how to turn that off. Electronic magnetic pulse emitter comes with the spy as well as sensor ping. Cool. It comes with just requires 3 crew members because it's a fighter squadron, despite the fact, and never mind, they all do that. I was gonna say despite the fact these are squares, which is usually representing a corvette. But yeah, you can only build the spies from your cinema station. You can build corvettes to help defend it. How much can you actually hold? 15 ships? Not bad. I forget how much the mothership holds. 30, so half the mothership? That's not bad.
Roger.
Nope, I want you.
Acknowledged.
And then you could build some very basic reconnaissance stuff. Probes, proximity sensors, and sensor distortions. As well as build a fire control module, which increases its damage and aim, as well as nearby ships. Build a sensor improver, which improves the cinema station's sensor power by 50% for 2 minutes. And we can also build short-range Viper missiles. So they don't go as far as the motherships, but they do substantial damage to capital ships, as well as, this is different from Complex, we can put turrets on it. We could put flat cannon turrets on it. Help defend against incoming fighter things. So cool. I like how in this one, this is actually used as an actual station, where in Complex, it's just used as a as an object that can greatly improve your sensors from far away. I don't remember if you can actually dock fighters and corvettes into the cinema station in the Complex version. I don't remember. But yeah, that's the cinema. Next we have the are we going down the right order?
Mothership.
We'll just go all the way from right to left. Normally I go down the order here. But I already went out of order. And we'll do the carriers. We'll do the carriers and we'll start doing the actual order. So next we have the light carrier.
Roger.
And light carrier you can actually build very early. Let's go ahead.
Mothership.
I totally forgot about the reading about things. Man, what is wrong with me today? Let's read about the cinema station, and then we will take a look at the carriers.
Ready.
I think it's because the production ships are a lot different than the normal ships, so it's kind of difficult to judge what I want to do.
Mothership.
But, yeah, let's read the cinema stations. Cinema station. Perimeter station, it carries advanced hyperspace and communication systems. Oh yeah, that's right. That's hyperspace and communication systems is integrated into that thing. Totally forgot about that. Equipped with one special slot, which is you can put a sensors on it, like advanced sensors or like a deep space sensor. Comes with integrated advanced sensor ping system, which is what's currently going off, I think. Integrated hyperspace system, integrated hyperspace gate system. Ooh, so we can hook up 2 cinema stations from far away and have them go through each other like they're a hyperspace gate. Ooh, that's different than Complex. That's pretty cool. I like that. Integrated large gravity well generator system, which is deactivatable. Might have to see how to do that. Integrated cloak generator system, so it can cloak itself. Integrated cloak detector system. It can also detect enemy cloak units. That's cool. Integrated sensor distortion system, so it can distort these sensors so people don't actually know that there is a cinema station there. Cool. It can build spies, probes, and subsystems. Type capital ship. I think of it more of a I throw it more on the production level because it doesn't necessarily build capital ships. It's not necessarily a capital ship user. It's more of a station. So cost 1700 RUs, so pretty cheap for a station. Maintenance cost 90 RUs per year. Again, pretty cheap. Strong versus nothing because it's a reconnaissance station. Prerequisites, hyperspace module. So whatever you build it from has to have a hyperspace module on board. It requires 1 officer and 10 crew members. So cool. Actually, would like to play around with that hyperspace gate thing. Get 2 of them built. But anyways,
Standing by.
now let's take a look
Mothership.
at the light carrier. We'll go ahead and read about it, and then we'll take a look at the actual ship. So let me go ahead. Nope, that's not what I wanted. No! I don't like the mothership. I want the light ship. There you go, light carrier. So, light carrier. Capital ship class production ship equipped with 2 production slots, which is fighters and corvettes, I believe, but we'll take a look at that. Comes with 1 module slot of your choosing, 2 special slots, 3 hull defense guns. It can build fighters, corvettes, capital ships, probes, and subsystems. It can't really build capital ships, but it can call some of them in, and it can dock and hold fighters and corvettes. So it is a capital ship, costs 1200 RUs, which is pretty cheap. Build time takes 1 minute to build, requires 50 RUs per year, so very cheap on RUs and maintenance, strong versus nothing, and has 1 officer and 10 crew member requirement.
Acknowledged.
So, the light carrier can build fighters, build all of them that are possible except for the spy, corvettes, build all of the different corvettes as well, nothing new. And we can call in a cinema station or a different type of shipyard if we absolutely need to. And for non-combat ships, we just have the basic sensor stuff. So probes, proximity sensor, and sensor distortion probe. And for module systems, we have the drive system to help improve its engines, hyperspace module so you can hyperspace it, cloak generator so you can cloak it, and anti-radiation field if you want to hide it in a nebula. And then for special subsystems, we just have the 3 sensor systems. And for defense, we can put a flak cannon on it, which I went ahead and did that. We have the heavy flak cannon down here. And for how many ships this thing can hold, it can hold 6, and that makes sense. I have a small hangar. I wouldn't expect it to have the ability to hold a whole bunch of fighters. But yeah, this is the light carrier. I believe you can build this as soon as you build your capital ship facility, so it's available literally at the very beginning of the game. Now next up,
Confirmed.
we're going to take a look at the full-size
Mothership.
carrier. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So carrier, capital class production ship equipped with 3 production slots, so I believe it can build fighters, corvettes, and frigates. 2 module slots instead of 1, so you can have additional modules on it. 5 special slots, 2 resource drop-off points. Well, that's an interesting thing. The basic carrier does not have a resource drop-off point, so it's more for scouting, not for mining. Okay, good to know. 4 hull defense guns instead of 3, so a little bit more basic defense. You can build fighters, corvettes, frigates, capital ships, platforms, utilities, and subsystems, so a little bit of everything. And dock and hold fighters, corvettes, and utility ships. Costs 2,800 RUs to produce. Takes 80 seconds to build instead of 60, so a little bit more time on the construction front. Maintenance cost is 100 compared to 50, so double the maintenance. Strong versus nothing. It's a production ship, and it requires the capital ship facility and lieutenant rank, as well as 2 officers and 30 crew members. So 3 times the crew and 2 officers.
Roger.
But we can build every single fighter from the ship, every single corvette, every single frigate. Don't think there's any limitations on that. And for capital classes, the same as the other one. We can just build what we can call in through hyperspace. And for platforms, I believe you can only build some of the basic platforms. Can't build the advanced ones. And I believe you can have every single... Yeah, you can have all of the modules that the other ship can have. Choose 2 of them to make. And the bonus thing we get for subsystems is we can put an RU supply, which allows us to store more RUs for the fleet compared to the small one. Then, ooh, I didn't actually build these. What's wrong with me? Get those built. You can have 3 defensive flak cannons instead of 1, so
together.
it has more defense against fighter and corvette raids. So I'm gonna go ahead,
Subsystem manufactured.
wait for them to get done, and I'll show them to you. Alright, so we have 1 up here in the front, another one down here at the bottom, and we have another one back here in the back. So its only weakness is like back here by the resource drop-off area. But this is the full-size carrier. Okay, and next is the defense carrier, and if I remember,
Mothership.
the defense carrier doesn't have a description. It's all a jumbled mess. So we can't really look at the description, but we will look at the ship. Defense carrier costs 3,000 RUs compared to 2,800, so it's a little bit more than the shipyard.
Reporting.
You can't really build anything from the defense carrier. You can build some patchers to help defend, help repair things. You can build your sensors, and you can build some defense flat cannons on it. We got one up in front, one up in back, I believe. He does have a couple long-range auto cannons, which is pretty cool. As well as that Stinger missile launcher, which I'm assuming is like anti-fighter or something. Oh, how many ships can we dock into the carrier? I forgot to check that.
Standing by.
10. And it's
Confirmed.
6 for the light
Standing by.
and 22 for the defense carrier. The defense carrier can bring some stock fighters, strike fighters, into combat. It also has this large ring here, which I believe is a integrated defense field.
Defense field powered up. Defense field engaged.
Oh, it's deploying. That's cool. That's really cool. So it has a little bit of integrated defense field to protect its allies, and I believe it can do additional damage with the I believe this is an integrated attack thing, attack sensor. I forget what they're called.
Mothership.
Attack something, fire control tower. So I think it has an integrated one of those, which is why you see the red around it.
Reporting.
Cool. And those are the 3 different carriers that you can build on the Hiigaran side. The next,
Mothership.
took a look at the cinema station already, so next would be the original shipyard. Or basic shipyard as it's called in this mod.
Acknowledged.
Now, go
Mothership.
ahead and... Actually, can we build a shipyard from a shipyard? Yes, we can. Shipyardception. So let's take a look at it. Get the engine noise out. Shipyard. Advanced capital ship production. Unlocks advanced ships equipped with 4 production slots, 6 module slots, 2 or 4 special slots, 2 resource drop-off points, 12 hull defense guns. That's quite a bit of defense going on. And on passive
Field power
tactic,
depleted. Recharging.
actually, on the passive tactic, it will not auto-launch any patchers that are currently docked into it. But if you put it on defensive and aggressive, it will launch them. That's to keep your patchers alive, so you don't have to rebuild them all the time. You can build fighters, corvettes, frigates, capital ships, platforms, utilities, and subsystems. It can build everything. It's a giant production facility. And it can dock and hold fighters, corvettes, frigates, it's good to know, and utilities. It is a capital ship. Super capital ship would be a better description. Costs 5,000 RU, so it's a shipyard. Pretty expensive. Takes 100 seconds to build. Maintenance cost is 150 RU, so very expensive. As a requires a hyperspace module in order to construct, because you can't actually build this. You have to call it in, and need to be Commodore rank in order to build the shipyard. Requires 3 officers and takes 40 crew members to man. Okay, and this is the shipyard fully decked out. All of its modules and everything in. But it can build every fighter, every corvette, every frigate, every capital ship. I'm including some advanced ones. That and the battle cruisers. Or further down. Every platform, including the advanced ones. Non-combat ships. You can build any of the modules, as well as the advanced ones, a couple of RU supplies, and extra power generators to help with the energy production of the fleet. And its primary purpose is to build very large capital ships. It's the whole reason why we build shipyards. How much can hold? 40. We can hold quite a bit of squadrons of fighters and corvettes, and frigates as well. And that's about it. This is the normal shipyard that we usually have in Homeworld 2. A little bit decked out from the mod, but it's pretty much the normal one. Now the next one is the strategic
Ready.
shipyard, which is like the original shipyard, but a little bit more decked out for the mod. So let's go ahead and read about this one. This is the one I tend to usually build whenever I play this mod. So let me zoom out a little bit. There we go. Strategic shipyard, advanced capital ship production equipped with 7 docking bays. We'll go through all that in a minute. 4 production slots, 6 module slots, 16 special slots, 2 resource drop-off points, 12 hull defense guns, and a passive tactic will not auto-launch patchers. It costs 7,000 RUs to build compared to 5,000. It costs 100 seconds to make. It should probably be up to like 120 because it's the same as the shipyard. 250 RUs of maintenance per year, so it's a lot more than the normal one. It requires a hyperspace module built into whatever's being built, whatever's building this thing, and a commander rank, as well as 3 officers and 40 crew. Same as the other one. Now, the main difference between this one is the fact that if you see around here, we got a couple docking slots there, and a couple docking slots here, another one back here in the back, as well as one more up here in the front. You can dock all of the large non-combat ships that we build around here into the strategic shipyard. So the power station, the crew station, the mothership, and I believe the weapons platform, the arsenal ship, those can all dock into the strategic shipyard, which will increase the health of the shipyard because all their health goes into one giant pool. And I believe there are special things that you can build with all of that stuff docked in. Yeah, we can build like long-range autocannons, plasma guns to defend the shipyard, EMP weapons, as well as long-range torpedoes and short-range nuclear bombs. You can basically turn this thing into like a giant like Fortress of Doom. Which is one reason why I always build it. Plus, in Complex, this was the only way you could upgrade the mothership, was docking into a strategic shipyard. Where in Simplex, they made it easier. You can build it straight on the mothership. It just takes longer and requires more resources. Where on the strategic shipyard, I think it only costs... it doesn't really say. I think it's like 10,000 compared to 40,000. It's much cheaper. I didn't build your sensors. What's wrong with me?
Subsystem built
There
and
we
ready
go.
for operation.
There's our sensor. So yeah, that's the strategic shipyard. Has the same amount of docking slots. I believe it builds the same exact stuff as the normal shipyard. The only difference is it has all these docking ports on it, so you can dock your entire fleet into the shipyard and transform it into a giant battle station. That's cool. Now next,
Standing by.
we have the battle shipyard, which looks a lot different than the other ones. I actually kind of like the design of the battle shipyard. I've always been kind of a fan of just a giant, like, heavily armored mobile fortresses. I always love those designs. Anyways, let's go ahead and read about it. Battle shipyard. Advanced capital ship production unlocks advanced ships equipped with 4 production slots, 6 mobile slots, 10 special slots, 3 long-range autocannon turrets, 6 artillery cannon turrets, 8 hull defense guns, and will not launch patchers when in passive, and can dock fighters, corvettes, frigates, capital ships, platforms, utilities, and subsystems, can build, but can only dock fighters, corvettes, frigates, and utilities. This thing costs 10,000 resources. Very expensive. Takes 250 seconds to build. It takes a long time as well. Only costs 150 RUs for maintenance. I would assume that would be more than the strategic one. That would be like 300. Strong versus fighters, corvettes, and frigates. It's battleships, so it actually has something it's good against. Requires hyperspace module to bring it into the game. Or whatever is building it requires that to make it build. Also needs commander rank, and it takes 6 officers and 60 crew. Oh boy, very expensive. Now, one thing that's different from this one compared to the complex version of it, complex, you can't build anything from it. It's just a long-range artillery platform. This one, you can build fighters, corvettes, frigates, and even capital ships. You can act like a normal shipyard. You can also build platforms from it. You can build all of your resource units. You can put all the modules on it. And this is one thing that I found really interesting. You could put a bunch of RU supplies as well as a bunch of power generators on it. So not only is this really good for production capability, it's really good for economy production as well when it comes to power and storing resources. So that was really interesting to find out. It has heavy kinetic cannons on the back. What else do we have? We have a couple more heavy kinetic cannons on the back here as well on the front. And back here, we have heavy kinetic cannons everywhere. I like the little resource docks. Those are pretty cool. I don't see where the long-range artillery is, unless the heavy kinetic cannons are the long-range artillery. Thought they were something separate. Yeah, there's 3 long-range and 6 artillery cannons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, here we are. Here's the artillery cannons. Okay. So they're underneath and protected by the bridges. That's pretty cool. There's 2. Should be a 3rd one somewhere around here. It's somewhere around here. But I love this like giant opening, which is probably where the large capital ships come out. Either that or it might be over here. That might be like frigate storage or whatnot.
Ready.
But yeah, I really like the design of this. It's just a giant, heavily armored battle fortress. Oh, the one I forgot to build a battle carrier. God, I'm so bad at my job. Okay, we got the battle carrier all nice and built up, and let's go ahead and talk about it. One thing I love about the battle carrier is if you look at it from this side, like if I make that go away, it looks like it's the Vader flagship on its side. Like a mini Vader flagship. I don't know why, but that always cracked me up. But anyways, let's go ahead and...
Confirmed.
Can I build a battle carrier from a battle carrier? Is that possible? No, it's not. Alright, cool.
Standing by.
Guess that means we'll have to go to the shipyard to read the description of it. So anyways, battle carrier. Capital class production ship, hybrid, and versatile support ship, can build units and attack enemies inside the battle, equipped with 4 production slots, 3 module slots, 4 special slots, 2 resource drop-off points, 2 6-barreled heavy kinetic cannon turrets, which is impressive, a heavy mine layer turret, which also is impressive, 5 hull defense guns, and it can build fighters, corvettes, frigates, capital ships, which we'll get to that here in a moment, platforms, utilities, subsystems, and weapon tubes. It can dock and hold fighters, corvettes, frigates, and utilities. It can also dock frigates. Wow. It costs 4,000 RUs to produce. Very expensive for a carrier, but there's a reason why. Takes 120 seconds to build, requires 150 RU of maintenance per year, which is as much as a shipyard. Again, I think some of the maintenance things need to be balanced, but that's just my opinion. A lot of people don't really care for the maintenance thing, but I think if it's used right, it'd be really cool. I would love to do a run one day of skirmish match where we take the limits of the crew and whatnot off and just put maintenance up to like high and just see how the game runs. That might be something we do in the future. Anyways, strong versus fighters, corvettes, and frigates. Prerequisites: requires advanced capital facility, which means the battle carrier can only be built from the shipyard, which is probably why I forgot to build it, because I built all the carriers from the mothership, not the shipyard. Requires lieutenant rank, and requires 3 officers and 30 crew, which is a lot for a carrier. Now, again, the special thing about this carrier is the fact that you have this gigantic opening right here on the side, which allows this carrier to build capital ships. Now, what kind of capital ships can it build? I believe it's destroyers and cruisers. Yeah, it could build cruisers. The Moab bomb can come out of this thing. That's amazing. Destroyers, and a light carrier. You can have a carrier build a carrier. It's kind of crazy. We can also build a mini vortex from this thing, but that's also just a small circle. So that makes sense. Oh yeah. Pretty cool. Subsystems, we can build the usual. These we can build an RU and power generator as well as a sensor system. We also can put a fast plasma gun on it, which gives it some capability, anti-fighter capability, as well as an AM fast tracking field. I don't even know what this thing is. Oh, that's an anti-missile. Ooh, that's nice. You can use that to defend the fleet. It also has a couple heavy ion cannons, because this is a battle carrier. Not only can it build large capital ships, but it can also do some damage in combat. So this is a very cool, very versatile ship. It also holds 15 ships, which I don't remember how much that is compared to the normal carrier. 10, so it can hold a little bit more than the normal carrier. So it's decked out in every versatile way. More production, more firepower, and more storage for fighters. It's just more expensive to build and requires more maintenance. Okay. That's all of the carriers. We did shipyards, and now we have the large specialist ships that I don't really know what to categorize it because they are just gigantic. So I just threw them in the production one. We have one of my favorite ships in the Complex and Simplex mod, Battle Carrier. Or not Battle Carrier, Battle Arc. We just looked at the Battle Carrier. Super heavy bastard. Nice. Oh man, this thing is it's just gigantic. Let's go ahead and read about it before we really start going crazy on things.
Mothership.
No, Battle Carrier. Or not Battle Carrier. Why do I keep calling this thing a Battle Carrier? Battle Arc. Capital class transport support ship, can transport warships into battle, equipped with 5 docking bays, so you can also dock the mothership, or 5 Moab bombs. Kind of crazy. 7 6-barreled heavy kinetic cannon turrets, which I believe are all stacked around on top. 1 EMP plasma cannon, 2 heavy mine layer turrets, 2 torpedo turrets, so some defense against fighters, corvettes, 4 rapid sweeper turrets, more fighter defense, a nuclear bomb launcher when upgraded. Comes with 2 integrated fighter control towers, so I believe it gets like 50% damage buff and 50% accuracy bonus to itself as well as nearby ships. Pretty crazy. Integrated hyperspace system, so it can hyperspace anywhere. Powerful engines. It has very fast speed for its ship of its size, and it can dock and hold fighters, corvettes, frigates, and capital ships. I believe it's any capital ship as well, including cruisers. I don't know if it can dock battle cruisers. That might be too big, but destroyers and cruisers it can dock into this thing. Requires 10,000 RUs to construct. Takes 600 seconds to build, about 10 minutes, 250 RUs per year for maintenance. That probably should be a little bit higher, like 300, 350 personally, because it is a massive ship. And strong versus capital ships, because again, massive ship. Requires a hyperspace module on board for anything that builds it. Commodore rank or 240 honor points, as well as 6 officers and 60 crew members. I think that should actually be a little higher, but that's just me personally. Yeah, massive ship.
Copy.
Does over 100,000 damage per second. How much can dock into this thing? 80? Yeah, you can pretty much dock your entire fleet into this thing. You can dock the mothership, all of your capital ships. You can dock like everything except for shipyards and whatnot in it. I think that's why I like this ship. It's so overpowered and it's so like just crazy, but the ideas and things you can do with this, that you can come up with some really crazy ideas using the battle arc. I love it for that. We got 2 heavy ion cannons. Apologize about the lag. There's a big dust cloud in the back, as well as we have a bunch of ships around, so it's causing the game to lag a little bit. So I apologize about that, but we look up here, it goes pretty smoothly. We got we got the Widowmaker, which is an asset that I put on. We got the heavy mine layer launchers that I put on. Heavy ions are added on as well. But there's 3 different assets you can put on, and I believe the higher the asset, the more damage it does. So kinetic cannon combat asset. Asset provides intense coverage with fire with moderate damage. So 7 6-barreled heavy kinetic cannons, providing excellent frigate protection and even some destroyer protection. And heavy artillery asset, which provides long-range support to the fleet. I believe since they're heavy kinetic or heavy artillery, they'll do massive damage to destroyer-class ships. And then the Widowmaker, which are 7-2 heavy blaster turrets, which I'm assuming does massive damage to large capital ships. It's also very expensive. But yeah, this thing, I love the battle arc. It's probably one of my favorite Hiigaran ships in the Complex and Simplex mod. I love it so much. I just love its gigantic docking bay. Okay, and next
Copy.
we have the Battle Fortress. Let's go ahead and read about it. This is another one of my favorite ships, but I also love gigantic fortress style ships. Here we are. Static fortified defense or base, helpful to control specific map zones. It carries advanced communication systems equipped with 38 special slots, which are assets that you can put onto armed a station. 16 kinetic cannon turrets, so great frigate defense right out of the bat. Integrated hyperspace system, so you can hyperspace anywhere, you don't have to build it. Does not launch patchers or drones whenever you put in passive. And it can build capital ships, platforms, utilities, and subsystems, as well as dock fighters, corvettes, frigates, and utilities. Takes 12,000 RUs to build, takes 700 seconds, takes a really, really long time to build. Maintenance cost is 250 RUs. Again, that probably should be higher. I understand why it isn't, because you can deck it out and you get your maintenance from that as well. And strong versus frigates and capital ships. It's actually strong against everything once it's fully updated, but I guess initially it's only strong against frigates and capital ships. Requires a hyperspace module, and requires an admiral rank, and 6 officers and 60 crew members.
Roger.
Now, the thing that makes this, the one thing I do like about Simplex compared to Complex, we can build things from the system. Like, I believe in Complex you can only put a bunch of weapons and whatnot on it. I believe you could do that, and you could dock things, which holds 60 as much as the battle arc. Actually, I think the battle arc holds more.
Standing by.
It does, holds 80. Wow.
Acknowledged.
But in Complex, you cannot build fighters, corvettes, and frigates. You could store them, but you could not build them. So I love that they added that in Simplex. We can also build point defense turrets. You put a defense facility, which greatly increases its defensive capability, communication facility, and also building a defense facility allows you to put the sets on it. So yeah, rapid sweeper gives it defense against fighters and corvettes. Torpedoes, which is frigates and corvettes. Kinetic frigates. Heavy ion cannon, destroyers and cruisers. Heavy mine layer launcher. I believe that's destroyers as well. Maybe frigates and destroyers. Nuclear bomb, battlecruiser protection. You can also launch a heavy nuclear bomb, which will go around the map and attacking something. I almost messed up this recording by building one of these, and it went off to kill the other computer that is controlled by the or went to attack the who were they? The Kadesh, which is controlled by my other computer, and I was like, crap, if that destroys it, then that means the mission's gonna end and I have to rebuild all this. Luckily it didn't. It just freaked me out for a moment. So these things do a massive amount of damage. I believe you can only build them for the Battle Fortress, which is pretty cool. But this is your ultimate defense if you're trying to defend a very specific location. It's got a crap ton of health. You can put a crap ton of weapons on it. You can dock a crap ton of strike craft to defend itself. So yeah, if there's an area that you want control of for a long period of time, you want to build one of these babies. Now, one more station. One more station and we are done with all the production level ships.
Mothership.
The last one we have is the orbital station. So let's go ahead and read about it. Static orbital base keeps and generates population in a safe orbital zone, can generate a normal space condition inside of its coverage of 24 kilometers. And this is useful if you play on maps that that are involved with the solar system, preventing units to be affected from several space factors, sun, remote, space damage. Generates RUs by population. Comes with 12 civil module slots, which you use to build the civil modules that store the population. Integrated orbital generator, which is that thing that generates normal space. Integrated hyperspace system, so built-in hyperspace module. Integrated gravity well generator system. Prevents other enemies from hyperspacing near it. And can build civil barracks, can dock and hold fighters, corvettes, frigates, as well as capital ships. Wow. Put a lot of defenses in this thing. Costs 24,000 RUs. Very expensive. And it takes 1,400 seconds. It takes a long time to build. Requires no maintenance, which I understand. That's because it generates resources, and having to require maintenance for something that generates resources would be annoying. Strong versus nothing, and just requires a hyperspace module on board of whatever ship that's supposed to be building it. I don't like the fact that it doesn't require any officers or crew members, because you could just spam build these orbital stations to generate a crap ton of money if you have it. And to me that's probably not the best balance. I understand why they do that, because on you come with an orbital station when you play on the solar maps, so you don't instantly lose your mothership because you're next to the sun and there's nothing there to protect you. But there should be like a module or something that comes built in on the mothership on the solar ones that allow it to generate normal space, so you can start the game better, and then make it to where you can build these later. But require officers and crew members. That's the only problem I have with this guy. But again, I understand why it takes so long. But anyways, so yeah, we can build all of the fighters. We can build all of the corvettes. We can build all of the frigates, as well as most of the destroyers. Pretty much everything that the mothership can build, we can build on this thing. I don't think we can't call in the shipyards or anything, but we can build from here. And we can also build the resourcers, and as well as the civil barracks. I do kind of wish there was a mode where we only started out with an orbital station. The only problem with that is we might need like a mobile refinery, because I don't think there's a way to dock resources on this thing. But it would be really cool to have a playthrough where you just have an orbital station, and then you have to manage your population in order to get through the mission or the scenario. That would be really, really cool. But orbital station has a crap ton of heavy ion cannons, so it is very effective against capital ships coming to kill it. That's the only thing it has, because it can dock fighters, corvettes, and frigates and build them. You can dock 60. You can have a lot of defenses here. So I might do a playthrough of that one day. I might do a playthrough of where we are on a solar mission, and then the only thing we have is an orbital station. Like, I'll get rid of the mothership, and or I'll probably build a mobile refinery and get rid of the mothership, and have a couple harvesters, and then we'll just build from the orbital station. I think that would be a really cool playthrough. Anyways, that's gonna do it. That's every single production ship that you can build on the Hiigaran side in Simplex. At least in this version, 4.7. Now, I intentionally left out
Mothership.
the scavenger, because I know you can build from that, but scavenger is more of a resource operation unit than a production level unit, so we'll cover that when we look at the harvesters and whatnot. But yeah, that's gonna do it. I hope you guys enjoy this. This was a lot of talking and a lot of thinking, so hopefully you enjoyed everything that I did. And let me know if you guys want to see a playthrough of a Homeworld skirmish or Homeworld Simplex skirmish mission where I just use the orbital station with a refinery. Let me know if you guys want to see that, because I'd definitely be up to doing that whenever we have some time to actually do something like that since we were kind of busy with other things. But it'll be on the list if you guys want to see it. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a like if you did. If you like what I do, consider subscribing, and I'll check you guys out in the next video. Until then, this is Captain Soban signing out.
The Thaker have arrived. Emergency hyperspace procedures initiated. The mothership must survive.